in Rajasthan, and what are you currently engaged in?
Well, we are currently running a hockey academy for around 100 children, boys and girls, age 5 to 15. We are participating in several tournaments already, all India tournaments, and we don't have a hostel or something, so all these children are from the village or from the surrounding villages. And last year in July we opened our own school in the village because I believe that sports and education should go hand in hand.
We've come to know that you've undertaken 2 cross-country drives in an auto rickshaw, the latest one being in Goa. So what was the most significant memory of that trip, and why this trip?
Actually, I love driving a rickshaw because you're very close to the country. You smell and swallow all the dust, and you can just be with the people. You know, every stretch has its charm of this beautiful, huge country. So, I mean, the distance from Jaipur to Goa, that was 2,000 kilometers in 10 days, and the one before was from Jaipur to Chennai, that was 2,400 kilometers. So every 100 kilometers the landscape changes, the culture changes, the people change, and for me that was a wonderful experience to get more aware of the country itself, and of course also to get that feedback of the people seeing a white woman driving an auto rickshaw. That was very challenging, and I got so many nice people around me. I mean, they were all overtaking the rickshaw, either on a motorcycle or on the car. And then when they were looking, I mean, the rickshaw was painted, and we had a huge hockey stick on the roof, and they were just looking inside, and then they couldn't believe who's driving, and so they tried several times. They tried to stop us and to know more about the project, and we also got good media coverage all over, and we tried to visit lots of hockey places on the tour. So the sports officers or coaches, they hosted us, and we had a really good interaction with all the hockey kids all over the country, which was really nice.
Was this a promotion campaign for Hockey Village India project?
Well, it was actually meant as a charity rally. I tried to raise funds, I tried to sell kilometers. It didn't work out that much. I mean, it only covered the expenses for the petrol. But still, it was a great adventure, and I had my German volunteers with me, and we had a wonderful time.
Andrea, I guess a wonderful player who is all surrounded with everything that a good player needs, fame, name, and everything. Then why coming on to sports entrepreneurship, and even if coming, then why India?
Well, I believe that, you know, to grow, you always need a supporter or a mentor who's guiding you. So I was lucky. I had very good parents who guided me in education and in sports. Even my grandparents were great sports people. So I believe that at a certain point of time, it's your time to give back. And well, I guess that in Germany there is also good infrastructure in sports and education. So there is not really a need for me to also involve myself. So I thought if I do that, it should be in a place where I can make the most out of it and where most people benefit. And then maybe one day in my life when I look back, I see some smiling faces, and they are smiling because I did some changes in their lives.
Okay. From Germany, what made you locate Ghar Himmat Singh village of Dausa district in Rajasthan, in India, and starting your project in this place?
Well, I fell in love with India in 2000. So since that time, I kept on coming and going, either private or with my business. I was running a travel business back in Germany. So, and my business partner, he came from Jaipur. So we tried to figure out a nice place between Agra and Jaipur to bring our guests or clients for a lunch break. And we thought it would be, instead of bringing them to a boring midway, it would be nice to have them for a lunch in the village. And his ancestors' place is Ghar Himmat Singh. So this is how I came first time to this village, and it's like, it's so remote and traditional that if I would paint a picture about Rajasthan, it would be probably one of these villages. So I just fell in love with this place, and I thought this is something I could start bringing some hockey sticks, and maybe they would have some fun. That was not really the idea of really starting an academy, but the kids picked it up so well because there was no other way of entertainment. So yeah, I felt somehow that I'm responsible for something. So I came back and Anna, but then I realized whenever I'm back in Germany, I'm running my business in the village, nothing will happen. And the kids will stop playing because nobody's taking care. And whenever I'm in the village, my business in Germany will go down. So at a point of time, I had to make my decision what I want. And I sold everything, I gave everything up in Germany, and I moved to, just said, probably the last place on this planet, with lots of power cuts and water problems and very dusty place. But that was the charm to overcome all these struggles, and I wanted to live like they live, to understand them and also show them that I'm really serious in what I'm doing.
Now, in your academy, apart from teaching hockey and this game, you also impart education. So is it academic education or only about the sports you concern on?
No, actually we started giving English classes because obviously I didn't speak Hindi in the beginning. I still don't. But to make the kids communicate with me, we taught them English, so we gave English classes. And then I realized that whenever I want to take them out for tournaments, I had to run to so many schools and different principals to ask for permission. And some of the principals, they just denied to send the kids. And seeing the level of education in the village, I thought it's helpful for everybody if I start my own school. So it's the first English medium school we opened in the village for class 1 to 5 in the preschool. And for our children, who are mainly in the age of like 12, 13, 14, we started Hindi medium.
What challenges did you saw in starting up all your venture, especially when you were new to this place?
Well, it was very difficult to convince the villagers because obviously there's not much awareness of sports. So what does a white woman have in mind? She's coming all alone to this village, and she gave up her life in Germany where obviously everybody would love to live. And what does she have in mind to teach our kids hockey? You know, what's the sense of that? If she would help us in farming or something, they would have understood maybe, but to teach their children a sports, they didn't understand. There was lots of rumors going on that I would take the kids out and bring them back with only one kidney, and yeah, because they read it somewhere, so they couldn't answer the question why I'm there, and of course nobody also dared to ask me. So it was a long way to go to make them understand what it's all about. So media coverage helped, local newspaper in Hindi where all the parents could read what achievements their kids did or what I'm doing. So by the time now it's okay. So it's not that they are actively supporting, but at least they accept what I'm doing.
And you're coming back to my theme, innovating for India. What are the scopes of innovation in this game of hockey?
Well, I believe that hockey is a very intelligent game. And I realized that in India, there are good sports people, but they are not educated. So at the end of the day, when their sports career finishes, they are nowhere because they never learned how to handle their life by themselves. And on the other side, it was also that I saw that now everybody's focusing on education. And the parents will say, you don't play, you learn. And I remember my time just before my exam at school, I was sitting over my books and I couldn't take it anymore. And I was crying because it was too much to learn. And my mom said, now you stop, you close your books, you go to the hockey ground, you play an hour, and then you come back. You will have a fresh mind and then you can learn again. And that was the best thing she could do. So also knowing from my experience, it's a good mixture, sports and education. So I'm proud to say that my kids are very fast forward when I see them and I see other village kids. They got very exposed because we take them for tournaments outside of the village. And even 5 of my boys at the age of 13, 14, 15, I will bring them to Germany for 2 months now in May and June. So they will play for a club in Germany in their summer holidays. So, I mean, you know exactly what that means. If you, in that age, you do already the step abroad and you learn how the Western world works, that will give you a big chance for the future.
Thank you so much, Andrea, for innovating for India and taking our national game to that extent. Thank you so much. I hope audience is now filled with questions.
I have a question before that.
Yes.
I mean, sports entrepreneurship is a field which we have a lot of examples of failures. Sports, and then the next stage is sports entrepreneurship. The field itself is full of examples of failures. So, what is your secret of success?
I believe I was always a good player. I mean, I never earned a single euro with playing, even for my country. I played with heart. So, and whatever you do in life, you should do only if you're really convinced and if you play with heart. Even if you do a job, no matter what it is, you should be convinced from what you're doing. And I think that's the secret. If you are just a coach and you're lucky you get a government job, and you know, I see them all, they're sitting in the shadow and having a cup of chai, but they don't care what the kids are doing. So because their heart is not there. I think especially when you work with kids, you have a special responsibility, and that you can only do if you're really into it.
So, apart from teaching hockey to kids, what is your vision of taking hockey in India to another level, or what is it actually the vision behind your hockey academy?
Yeah, I think there is a lot of potential in the country, especially that tribal areas and the villages. The kids are so strong because they grow up in very basic conditions. So they are strong by nature. What they don't have is proper education and most of the time proper nutrition. But these are things you can give from outside. And then you have actually the best person you can bring up.
Audience.
Hockey being our national sport also, and it was sort of getting lost somewhere. And I mean, I congratulate you for bringing it up again from villages, from where great players have come up before as well. Ma'am, I just wanted to ask you, how do you manage all the costs that that involve in teaching, and that involves managing kids of that age? You have to convince them of coming up. Their parents also, they send their kids to work rather than sending them to school or any other place to learn. They send them to work or some place to earn. So how do you manage all that cost up, to teach them hockey and all?
Yeah. So I'm running a German NGO, and we get very good support from the German national teams. So whenever they come over to play tournaments in India, like in December there was the Junior World Cup, which Germany won. And the parents, I mean, my background is tourism, so I was handling the bookings for the hotel and excursions and everything for the parents, and I also brought them to the village. So they brought lots of second-hand equipment, shoes, sticks, everything from Germany. The Canadian junior team, they brought 300 kilos of goalkeeper equipment, sticks, shoes, everything. And that's one thing. In Germany, hockey is a very elite game. So it's on the same level than tennis, golf, and here it's a poor man's game. So actually my aim is to lift the image of the sports. And if you look in villages, it's easy to throw a football and everybody will be able to kick the ball. Everybody knows how to kick a ball. It's the same with cricket. You need a bat and a ball and 20 kids are, involved. But hockey, you need somebody who's providing sticks, shoes, shin pads. It's more complicated, and of course more money is involved for the basic equipment. And the rules are also more complicated. So you also have to have a proper coach who's and this is probably the problem why hockey is so much down in India.
As you told that many of the principals of school won't allow their students to go to play tournaments or whatever, And then there are various activities and things happen which discourage you to go further steps. What ma'am encouraged you on every failure to go further? What was the thing, ma'am?
I think exactly these incidents are the matter which take me forward, because I never gave up. And for example, I imported a second-hand AstroTurf from Germany last year in June. And for 1 year I was running to all the authorities to get the permission to lay out that AstroTurf in the nearby city. I got a government grant. And the day that AstroTurf came in, the villagers and the Sarpanch were sitting there and blocking that ground and filing an objection against me. They didn't want to have that ground there, just for no reason, probably for a political reason. So, but when you're in the middle of something and you gave up your life at home, you're not giving up, because then where you go? You're already halfway, so there's only the way to continue. And all these things are part of the way. And once they are behind you, you're laughing about them and you realize that they were necessary to reach where you are now.
Do these kids respond to you? What is it that you find, one thing you find very disgusting about them, and something which is very awe-inspiring about them, despite the fact that they don't have the exposure that children of cities have in India?
Yeah, well, I think we became like a huge family. They are with me almost 24 hours. What I really don't like is that by the time they're taking things for granted. So in the beginning they were happy to get a second-hand pair of shoes, which were really good, and in the meantime they will come with a second pair of shoes after 2 weeks and they will say that they are a little bit tight here and there, the plastic's a little bit, the small things are not okay anymore, so they want to change it. So it's difficult to get them to appreciate things, which they didn't have before, but now I think we spoiled them a bit. So yeah, I wanted them to be proud of being a hockey player, so I always try to equip them with the best things I can get. But on the other side, they are so loving, and I'm also traveling a lot for fundraising and here and there, so they will always call me, Andrea, where are you? How are you when you come back? So it's I would never leave them. They're so deep in my heart. It's like a huge family.
Any more questions before we come to an end of?
Cope up with the linguistic differences that arise.
Language?
Language problems.
Yeah. So all the children are good in English now. The only problem is to communicate with the parents. So my Hindi is like, I can make myself understand, but also they speak some Rajasthani dialect, so that's even worse. But still, if I go to any of these families and I have a cup of chai with the women in the house or something, we will find a way to communicate. That's not an issue, but of course that was a big thing in the beginning. Explaining a game that they've never seen before in a language they've never heard before. And so yeah, that was forcing me to pick up some Hindi words, like I started learning colors, bought different t-shirts in different colors, and then I could say, okay, the lal group is here, safed there, and hara there. So yeah, so this was the beginning, and probably we will do the same thing now for the boys who go to Germany, to teach them some basic words, so that at least on the hockey ground they know what is a penalty corner or a free hit or something in a foreign language. Yeah, it's funny if you start with this kind of vocabulary, but yeah.
Ma'am, do you teach girls also in hockey?
Yeah, sure. We half of the kids are girls.
And then do you plan any expansion of what you are doing in the villages to other villages or cities?
Yeah, we started in a nearby village already. That's only 7 kilometers away, so that we have some competition and don't need to travel always so far to have a match. And we also started 2 hockey villages in Goa, one in Bhusaval, Maharashtra, one in Pondicherry, and another one probably will come up in Haryana. So we try to spread our wings and get more exposed, and so that we can start soon our All India Hockey Village League.
Finally, I would request you to say something in Hindi, something before. I hope everyone would love to hear Hindi.
Okay. So my favor is actually that, being in India since 2.5 years, whenever I come to Jaipur, it's a tourist place, and of course the rickshaw wala will think I'm a stupid Gori, and he can make a fool out of me by taking me for the double or triple price in his rickshaw. So I will always say, मैं गोरी से लेकिन मैं नाई पागल हूँ. That I can't say. I have no idea of that.
So I guess we have come to the end of the session. Thank you, Andrea, for being with us
Thank you so much.
and for increasing our know-how about hockey and how innovation can be made. So thank you all. Thank you for being here and making it a wonderful session. So we call it a day. Thank you all.
Thank you. Yeah.
Ma'am, Rajdeep, you also one with this, and then all the students in black t-shirts, and then the rest of it. Just a moment.